dear students, I am Dr. Shikha Pandey, Associate Professor from the Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today I am going to discuss about the next module, that is module number 5, and this one is the last module, and the first topic from this module is the sustainable development. So let's start this topic with the first of all the introduction of this sustainable development, means how this sustainable development has come into force and who have coined this term into our economy, and how this sustainable development has been started in the India, or it should be implemented into the world. So first of all, the word sustainable development came into prominence in the world from the World Conservation Strategies in 1980. One convention has been held that was named as World Conservation Strategies. In this convention, they have people have discussed about the some conservation strategies for the world that should be important for the world in the year 1980. And then after this convention, they have published new status with the publication has come out, and that publication is called as, first one is the North and South Program for Survival and Common Crisis in the year 1985, and then next one is the Our Common Future in the year 1983. And this Our Common Future has gained attention even greater than the first one, because United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development has been held in the Rio de Janeiro in the year 1992. So after this, that sustainability word has come into this existence, and they are very much serious about the sustainability. So first of all, they have came into first time this word came into the World Conservation Strategies in the year 1989, and after that in Brundtland one conference was held, and in that conference they have published two kind of publication. First one is the North and South, a program for survival and common crisis in the year 1985, and next one is the Our Common Future in the year 1983. And they have this one, second one, the Our Common Future 1983, has gained more attention in the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development that is held in the Rio de Janeiro of Stockholm. Now comes to the next thing about this sustainable development. First of all, what does this development mean? First of all, this meaning of the development, when we call the thing development is there, how to understand this term, means like what is a development. Basically, this development word means a gradual growth is there, that is called as development. We can call it as a development. Gradual growth or some little bit growth is there. If any growth is there, then we will call it as a development. So generally, this development word means a gradual growth of a situation that will become more advanced and strong than the previous one. Means any little bit of growth from the previous one, and after some time it will become more advanced and stronger than the first one. This is we can call as a development. And this development is intended to bring a positive change for human being and its surrounding. Means this development is implemented and come into practices to bring some positive change in the human being life and the surrounding, and it can be take place by bringing about a change in policy, legislations and projects. Means that development may take place by bringing some little bit changes in the we can do these changes in the policy, legislations and projects that are already going with the society. So in this way we can bring development into the society. Like we will bring some gradual changes in terms of the policy that is already existing, in terms of the projects and some legislation, so that after this development that will become more stronger. So we can term this as a development. Like this sustainable development is also something like that. And next point is about development is that it is an unfolding of human potential for their meaningful participation in economic, social, political and cultural process and institution, so that people can improve their condition. Means we can say that people can improve their self growth. So this is also called as self growth, because it is because human has a lot of potential. So this development will bring some unfolding of potential into the human beings by participating them into some economical activities, social, political and cultural activity, and at the institution level, so that people can improve their personal life and their condition. And that we can term as a growth. That will be termed as a growth. So this is all about the development of a human being, or any human activity that is related with the development of a person is called as development. So this one is all about the development of a human being. So general development is nothing, it is a gradual growth of a situation that will become more advanced and stronger than the previous one. And development is intended to bring a positive change for human being and surrounding. It will bring some positive change in the human beings and surrounding. We can call them as a self growth, and it is an unfolding of human potential to participate in the economic activities, social, political activities, and institution, so that any people can improve their condition and growth. And this is the growth of a person also. And if a person will grow, automatically society will grow, and development will come at every stage. And if society will grow, society will do better. That is also very much important, related with the economy of a country. Economic will also grow stronger. So the development word is very important word for a personal development, for a society development, for a culture development, for a country development also. That's why they have added the term sustainable development. Means any kind of development that is attached with the development of present generation with the development of future generation, without compromising the need of future generation. This is a basic thing about the sustainable development. Means development is very much necessary for the present future, present society, present human being and everybody. And human being is a very has a lots of potential in terms of its economic, social and political participation. And if a human being will involve in all these activity, automatically they will bring some positive kind of potential into their daily activity. They will do better, they will perform better, and they will grow economically and socially better. So this is all about the development. Now comes to the basic development meaning of this sustainable development. So now, as we have already discussed about the development, means development will enhance our personal life. Development will improve the quality of life. It will improve the society, and it is related with the cultural activities also. So development in terms of the without compromising the need of future generation with fulfilling the need of present generation, it is called as sustainable development. So this is all about the basic thing about the sustainable development. Sustainable development means improving the present condition of a human being without compromising the need of future generation. This is called as sustainable development. So it is a development that meets the need of present generation without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own need. Means no compromise is there with the ability or need of the future generation, because future generation also wants same resources, because and then they will develop more. If we need all these resources for our development for today's generation, for next, then the next generation also need that much resources, so that they will also do better, they will also grow better. If we will utilize all these resources by fulfilling of our generation only, and this is called as exploitation of that resources, then what the next generation will do? How do they survive? How do they do development? How do they will exist? So this is the problem. If we will exploit the natural resources, and if we will not use the natural resource in a sustainable manner, because sustainability is very much important. We should use or consume the natural resources in a scientific manner, in a perfect manner, so that we cannot overuse this resource or we cannot exploit, because this is resources is not for ourselves, it is for future generation also. And every generation has to think about it, like we should preserve this resources for the coming generation also. And if sustainability will adapt in our daily life, this will be helpful for the society. This will for the society growth, economic growth of a country, development. So this sustainable development is very much important. So first of all, the Grow Haran Brundtland, he has first introduced the concept of sustainable development in the year 1987. He was then the Prime Minister of Norway and Chairman of the World Commission on Environment and Development, that is WCED. So this person, Brundtland, he was the Prime Minister of Norway and Chairman of the World Commission on Environment and Development. He has first introduced this concept of sustainable development in the year 1987. So you can see it in the picture, like improving the lifestyle and in well-being of a person by sustainable development, so that they will preserve the natural resource and ecosystem. Means that is the basic concept. We should have to improve the present generation lifestyle and their well-being without compromising the need of future generation. And we should, on the other side, we have to take care of the natural resources and ecosystem also, so that development is called as sustainable development. See, if we are doing more development, we are doing very great, but we are not preserving the natural resources, we are exploiting the natural resources, that development is not called as sustainable development. And that is also not called as development, because you are not developing, you are consuming the resources. And that resource is not only for you, not only for that generation, it is for coming generation also. So there is a little bit, a very fine line difference between the consuming all these natural resources and doing development with all these natural resources. So first of all, we should think that what we have to do. We have to do development with the present resources that is available, and we have to consume these resources which is available. So don't exploit the resources, and that's why this sustainable development concept has been come into the world, so that the world has to do development, but they have to take care of the needs for the future generation also, because development is never like that we are developing more. It should be in a proper manner, like more development is there, but we are not taking care of the future generation. So this is not called as development, this is only the consuming of the natural resources, because there are lots of thing that is present in our natural resource and ecosystem. So we have to think about the preserving all these natural resources for the future generation also, because they have to survive on the same earth with the same kind of resources. So if there will be no resources, means then no life will exist on the earth. So this is about the sustainable development of concepts of sustainable development that has been coined by, first introduced by the Brundtland in the year 1987, and then he was a prime minister and chairman of the World Commission on Environment Developments. That's why he has given that term, and it is a very good reason for the development of any country. Now comes to the next point. This is about the sustainable development means using the natural resources in such a manner which doesn't eliminate or diminish their usefulness for future generation. Coal, just like these resources are the coal, crude oil, forest, and all these things. Hence, the concept of sustainable development could be termed development without destruction. Then only we can say that this is the development, this is the sustainable development. This is not the destruction of the habitat, this is not the consumption of the habitat. So this sustainable development means that the using the natural resource in such a manner which does not eliminate or diminish its usefulness for future generation. And all these resources are the coal resource, crude oil, forest, soil, water, whatever is available on the earth is called as natural resources in the terms of natural resources, and that should be preserved, that should be not whole consumed, that should be preserved for the future generation also. And the true sustainable development aims to optimum use of natural resource with high degree of reusability, minimum wastage, least generation of toxic, and maximum productivity. Means it should be like that. Optimum use of natural resource means you can use natural resource at their higher level with a very high degree of reusability. Means you can you can reuse it again, and the minimum destruction and wastage should be there. Least generation of toxic and maximum productivity should be there. Then that should be termed as sustainable development. Sustainable development is like that only, means development that should be for the for the present generation and for future generation also. Like that, in that means, so it will be, you can do the higher degree of usability of any resources with a minimum waste and with minimum waste generation, toxic generation, and that will form maximum productivity of any crop. Now we are going to discuss about the evolution of this concept of sustainable development, means how this word has been evolved in the world. This sustainable development, how it has been evolved. So it is a journey from Rio de Janeiro to Johannesburg, that is in Brazil, to Johannesburg, that is South Africa. First of all, first landmark events in the evolution of the concept of sustainable development has been the 1972 Stockholm Conference. In the year 1972, one conference is there that is known as Stockholm Conference, and it is on the human environment conveyed by the United Nations. And the report of the World Commission on the Environment and Development, that is WCED, means report they have given in the 1972 Stockholm Conference on human environment, and that report is called as World Commission on Culture, Environment and Development, WCED, World Commission on Environment and Development. So in this report, that word is come out. So first landmark event in the evolution of the concept of sustainable development has been in the year 1972, that is in the Stockholm Conference on the Human Environment, and that is they have given the report to the World Commission on the World Conservation of Environment and Development. And second thing is about our common future and the 1992 United Nations Conference on Environment and Development and Rio Earth Summit. We can call it by any name like Rio Earth Summit, the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, WCED, and that the many activities between them is the successive landmark events sought to build on the outcome of the previous event, to clarify issues and to provide inputs into the preparatory process of the following event. And then this is the landmark event that will build on the outcome of the previous events to clarify issues regarding all these things, and it will provide inputs and preparatory processes of the following events. And next event is about the next, that is UN established the Commission on Sustainable Development. Then UN has established a Commission on Sustainable Development in the December 1992. That will ensure an effective follow-up of UNCED and to monitor and report on the implementation of the Earth Summit Agreement at the local, national, regional and international level. So this is, they will start to monitor and report for the implementation of the Earth Summit Agreement at the local, national, regional or international level. Next point is about the Rio +5 summit is there, that is in Rio after 5 years, that is called as +5 summit is there, and this is a session on the General Assembly that will held in the year 1997, means after 1992, after the 5 years, so it is in 1997, and it is a comprehensive program for further implementation of Agenda 21 as well as the work progress of the CSD for between the year 97 and 2002. So CSD is a Commission on Sustainable Development. This is the agenda. Agenda 21 has been given in the, as we have already discussed about the Earth Summit. In Earth Summit, they have made one report, that is Agenda 21. Agenda 21, they have given some provision for the protection of environment. So in Agenda 21, after 5 years, they have again call a meeting at a Rio, that is called as Rio +5 summit. In this summit, all programs has been discussed, and then they have discussed about the further implementation of agenda as well as the work program of the CSD. And after, in this 1997 Kyoto Protocol has been adopted in the year 1997, and the conference of parties held over the years that have made some more advance relating to clarification and aspects of financing and implementing sustainable development globally. So, in 1997, they have adopted the term Kyoto Protocol also. This is about the climate change, and this is about the greenhouse gases. This Kyoto Protocol will held on in the year 1997. They have adopted a vision to adopt a Kyoto Protocol, some protocol, then that will cut down the emission of greenhouse gases into the environment. That because after cutting and after doing something on the environment, then only that sustainability can be achieved. Because if you will think about the environment, if you are going to do something for the environment, then only you will get development. Now if any country in terms of development, they will produce more factories, and from factories more GHG emission is there. So this is not development. This will not comes under the category of sustainable development, because for the sustainability you should have to reduce your emission of greenhouse gases. You should reduce the emission of pollution emissions, so that will be not affect the environment that much in bad brutally. So this kind of development, we didn't call it as a sustainable development. So after 5 years, they call a conference of parties in the 1997 to look after the implementation of this United Nations conference for this sustainable development. Then they have made one protocol that is about the cutting and emission of greenhouse emission, so that will be helpful for the protection of environment and natural resources. And then comes to the next point, that is about the examples of some sustainable development. So first of all, the sustainable development example is the first one is about the solar energy. Solar energy is a great example for this sustainable development, because the greatest advantage of solar energy is that it is completely free and is available in limitless supply. So both of them, these two factor means it is completely free and it is a limitless supply. So these two factor will provide a huge benefit to consumers, and that will help in the reduction of the pollution. Means like if it is available free and it is limitless. So if we will shift on the solar energy, then that will be very much beneficial, and that kind of development we can call as sustainable development, because this solar energy is present in enormous amount and it is limitless, and this will reduce the pollution, and it has lots of potential is there in our sunlight. So that electricity, we can convert this sunlight into the electricity, and this is the replacement of traditional form of energy with this type of energy is environmentally and financially effective. Means with the replacement of that traditional kind of energy with that renewable energy resources is very much effectively for the environment and for financial also, because that will help in financial condition and that will be environmentally sound also, means that is pollution free. So this solar energy is the greatest example for this sustainable development. If we will shift on the use of solar energy more than the coal based thermal power energy, because coal based thermal power energy will produce lots of air pollution, some flyers is there, some waste byproduct is there, and that will be very much dangerous. So this solar energy is like it is pollution free, and it is available in the limitless amount, and it is freely available in the environment. So if we shift on the solar energy, that will becomes under the sustainable development category. And next thing about is that it is naturally more sustainable than the fossil fuel energy source, and is more environmental friendly also, because this one it will be more sustainable as compared to the fossil fuels, because fossil fuels will produce many smoke, and that is will causes pollution to the environment also. But this solar energy is very means pollution free, and it is present in the limitless amount, and we can use it, and in any time an enormous amount of sunlight is already present on the earth, and it has a great potential for the production of electricity and energy. So this solar energy is a great example for this sustainable development. Now comes to the next example, that is about the wind energy. Wind energy is also an important example for this sustainable energy, because wind energy is another readily available wind energy resources. Harnessing in the power of wind energy necessitates the use of windmills, and if we'll harness the windmills, we'll get more energy in the terms of, this is called as renewable source of energy. So from shifting into these kind of pollution free energy will be very much effective and will be very much productive for the future generation, and that will be environmental and economically very much effective. So that in that windmill construction cost and finding a suitable location, this kind of energy is meant to serve more than just the individuals. And wind energy can supplement or even replace the cost of grid power, and therefore may be good investment and remain a great example of sustainable development. Means if for this wind energy, windmills would be harnessed at every location, and you will get a lots of energy with this windmills, and that will replace the cost of grid power and electricity and wires and everything. So the investment as compared to the electricity or fossil fuel, we can say that investment in this wind energy is very much less as compared to the fossil fuels or traditional forms of energy. That's why this is wind energy is a great example for sustainable development. Now, next thing about this sustainable development, the next example is, we can take the example of crop rotation. Crop rotation is the different farming practice, and it is beneficial in several ways, most notably because it is a chemical free. This crop rotation is a rotation of crop from one season to next season. It is not dependency on the single crop for the same field. So if you will use rotation of the crop, then that will be very much beneficial to maximize the growth potential of land and also preventing diseases and insects in the soil. Not only in this form of development beneficial commercial farmers, but it can also add those who garden at home. Means crop rotation is the rotation of crop from one season to one season, and this will be very much beneficial because it will be maximize the growth potential of the land, and it will prevent the disease and insects in the soil. And it's a beneficial one. Another benefit of this crop rotation is that it will optimize nutrients in the soil, and it will combat the pest and weed pressure, and it improves the health of the soil. So this crop rotation has much more beneficial than the traditional way of farming, because this, first of all, it will maximize the growth potential of land. It will because then it will improve the health condition, soil health condition, and it will optimize nutrients in the soil and combat pests and weeds pressure. So this is all about the crop rotation, and crop rotation is also again a great example for the sustainable development. Now comes to the next point about the pillars of sustainable development. Means on which basis we can achieve a sustainability. So the main pillars of sustainable development are a powerful tool for defining the complete sustainability problem. This consists of at least the economic, social and environmental pillar. And if any one pillar is weaker, then the system as a whole is unsustainable. Two popular way to visualize the pillar is shown in the picture. You can see that. So there are three pillars of this sustainable development. First one is the economic, social and environmental. Means if it is a combination and it is the balance between all these three pillars, then only you can achieve the sustainability. Means social, environmental, social and economic. Means there should be a balance between the social and environment and economic, then only you can achieve the sustainability. But if there is a balance only between the social and environment, this should be only bearable. And if balance between the environment and economic, this comes under the category of viable. It can only be a viable. And if means that balance between the social and economic, that is, we can say at the equitable, means just an okay thing is there. But if a balance between all these three is there, we can achieve, that is in the society, environment and economic. So in this way it can be termed as a sustainable development. So this is all about the pillars of sustainable development. Now next is like that we will explain this social sustainability, environmental and economic sustainability in the detail. So first of all, it is the ability of a social system such as like country, family and organization to function at a defined level of social well-being and harmony of a person, like the and indefinite of the problems like war, endemic poverty, widespread injustice, and low education rates, and the system in socially unsustainable. Next one is the sustainability in the environment. It is the ability of the environment to support a defined level of environmental quality and natural resource extraction rates indefinitely. Next one is about the economic sustainability. Means it is the ability of an economy to support a defined level of economic production indefinitely. So this is all about the three pillar of sustainability: social, environmental, and economic. Means sustainability should be in between three, and these are the three pillar of the environment of the sustainable development. If one will not work, these two balance between these two, then it will not work. So it should be have to be balanced between all these three, then we can achieve that word sustainable development. Like sustainability plus between the social life of an individual plus environmental condition of any place, and then economic development, then only we can achieve the term that is sustainable development, SD. That is all about the three pillars of sustainable development. It is a balance between all these three pillars. Now comes to the many thing example of the sustainable development, means how it can be economically sustainable. So what many companies are doing, they are going to focus on reducing their carbon footprint, packaging waste, water uses, or other damage to environment. Means they are going to reduce their wastage, like what they are damaging to the environment, like they are reducing their packaging waste, water uses and carbon footprint, so that this will be beside helping the planet. This practice can also have a positive financial impacts. For example, reducing the use of packaging materials means lower spending and improved fuel efficiency. That will be helps with the company budget. So it will be help in the budget of the company also. Means uh, if they will think about the environment, they will doing the they are making a balance between the economy, environment and social behavior of the company, then only that company will achieve the sustainable development. The recycling of products and use of renewable raw material are therefore the basic fundamental aspects of the economic pillar. So this is about the pillars of sustainable development. Means any country, any company has to look at their environmental benefit, financial support, and then only their culture of the industry will be improved. Then this in this way they can achieve the sustainable development. And the recycling of the products and use of renewable raw material is a main fundamental aspects to achieve the sustainability. Means we should reduce the use of the new products. We should have to focus on the renewability of the product and all recycling of the product renewable things, or we should focus on the recycling of the project product. So if we will all do all these things in a great manner, in basically basic 2 point if we are following, then these are the basic two fundamental aspect of this sustainable development, then this sustainable development can be achieved. Means for environmental point of view, these 2 points are very much important for the sustainable development. First one is the renewability of any things and recycling of any substance, any things that will be very much important and very much beneficial. Now comes to the principle of sustainability. Means the principle of sustainability. Now comes to the principle of sustainability. Sustainability principle related with the society is what we have to discuss. What is the principle of any person that is related in the society? So first of all is that the respect and care for the community of life. Means every person should have some respect and care for the community of life and improve the quality of human life. Means improvement is also important. So because we are already talking about the development, so improvement and development word is quite necessary, and in this way they should have to do the respect and care of each and everybody's needs. And then first third point is about the conserve the earth's vitality and diversity, and then about the conservation of the natural resources. Its meaning is means it means the conservation of natural resources, but what diversity and what resources available on the earth, its conservation. And then minimize the depletion of non-renewable resources, means minimize and to look at the depletion of the non-renewable resources, because depletion should have to decrease. Depletion and over exploitation should not be there. Next point is about the, and they have to change their attributes and practices and enable communities to take up for their own environments. Means all society, all communities has to take care of their own environments. Means all communities, if they will do the take care of their own environment, automatically that will conserve their environment that is related to them. And then provide a national framework for integrating development and conservation. And then create a global alliance. A global alliance is also important in terms of sustainable development, because global alliance, they will act globally and they will perform, they will take decision, they will adopt all these activities globally. So if some alliance is there, that will be very much beneficial for the sustainability. So these all are the principle related with the sustainable society. Means what a society people has to do, they have to improve the quality of life, they have to do development without compromising the need of future generation, and without, there should be have to carry, think about the earth carrying capacity also. There should be no depletion or no over exploitation of natural resource that is already present on the earth. And they have to think about the creation and plantation of more and more trees, so that that will be very much beneficial for the improvement of today's weather and quality of life and everything. Now next thing is about the sustainability principle is the first one is the, it should have to reduce the dependency on the fossil fuels, underground metals and minerals. Means the mining activities, reduction, to reduce the dependency of fossil fuel, we have to shift toward the use of renewable energy resources, because that will be pollution free, that will be environmental friendly also. So reduce the use and totally too much dependency on the fossil fuels. And then next is the reduced dependency on synthetic chemicals and unnatural substances. You have to shift on the organic and manures and fertilizers. Next is about the reduce encroachment upon nature. Means reduce the over exploitation of nature and natural resources, and the meet human needs fairly and efficiently. Old and new approaches to human use of the atmosphere. So this 4 point is the basic point of this sustainability principle. Means we have to reduce the dependency on fossil fuel, reduce the dependency and overuse of synthetic chemical, reduce the encroachment of nature and natural resources, and the human needs should be fairly and efficiently. So these four are the sustainability principle. And now discuss about the goals of the environment, goals of the sustainability. Sustainable development requires the active involvement of all the stakeholders like government, NGO, private sector and civil society also. Next is what, it is not just politician or policymaker who decide what sustainable development should be like. It should be a right of every individual, every society people, like they have to take active participation in this sustainable development, because sustainability we can achieve by the all together work of a government, NGO, private sector and stakeholders. Means if all stakeholder will come all together, then only sustainability can be achieved. And it should be by the it should be not a policy maker thing, it should have to adopt. Because only policy will be present only in the file, it should have to be adapted at the local and a ground level, because After the adoption in our day-to-day life, then only we can achieve this sustainability word, because policy is already there, government has made all policies, all the things. But if a single citizen, if a normal person will not change themselves, they will do the encroachment of natural resources, and they will not going to adopt all these principles into their personal life, then that sustainability will not going to be achieved. So this is not about only for this policymaker. It is a involvement of active involvement of all the stakeholders, and the stakeholders are the government, NGO, private sector, and social society. So all these four things will make a stakeholder of this sustainability, and it is a work. It is a goal, and it is the outcome of all these stakeholders, and then only this sustainability can be achieved. Now comes to the measures for the sustainable development. Sustainable development can measure in terms of population control, recycling of waste, reduce consumption, and then water resource management. We can measure this sustainable development and in the terms of population control. So population growth should be limited at the desired level. Slow human population growth reduce the stress on global life. So human population should be less, and it should be slow, and biodiversity must be conserved. And next point is about the recycling of the waste. Recycling is very much important, as a recycle at least 60% of the material which are discarded now as a trace, and then reduce consumption. Like lifestyle should be shifted to lesser consumer of resources, means any person have to reduce their lifestyle so that they will do the less consumption of any resources. And next is about the efficient use of resources should be renewed or reused. Just for example, solar energy should be encouraged, means shifting on the renewable energy resources should be encouraged. And water management is there, and some of the sequences is that water management in river flooding, silting reservoir, pond and lake, over exploitation of groundwater, and then water logging by over irrigation. Next one is the improper drainage. So all these are the management of water should be important, because after management, after doing all this, after uh, reducing problems related with water, then only water resource management should be achieved, and that will be a very much important for the sustainability. Next thing about the pollution of water bodies are to be taken up for implementation. So sustainable development insists optimum management of water resource locally and globally level. And next is the integrated land use planning, means land use planning should be in integrated manner. So using land for agriculture, forestry, fodder cultivation, industrial growth, traffic should be planned. Means land, whatever land is using for the forestry, agriculture, fodder cultivation, industrial growth and traffic, it should be in a planned manner. That is called as land use planning and integrated land use planning. Next is about the creating of environmental awareness and spreading environmental education. So land use planning is again a very important term, because we should have to plan the road, whatever, which roads should be for the development of agriculture activity, forestry activity, which is for the fodder food and industrial growth. Means we should have to do this. One is the land use planning, because due to this land use planning only we can achieve this sustainability. And awareness is again a very important point, because without the awareness nothing can be achieved, because a common man should have to be aware about the bad and good effect of this sustainable development. And everybody should have to understood this point, like it is their duty to protect the environment and nature. So if they will do it in a proper manner, they will shift toward the use of some renewable sources of energy, some renewable, they will reduce the use of the dependency on the total fossil fuel. They will start using organic manure and fertilizer, pesticide, organic kind of manures to their agriculture farm. then only that sustainability will be achieved. And it is a duty of every individual, so that that word comes in, like the creating the awareness among the local people. So this is all about the sustainable development. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.